Hello everybody, let's talk about kettlebells for a strong core today. I'm doing a little Facebook Live here at lunchtime, and maybe we'll get some people together to talk core. I have the top 5 drills that you should be doing in your program if you're looking for a good core, and we want to talk about how to get better abs, but I really don't want you to just think of that in terms of just your abs. What I find with training is that too many people are just focusing on the abdominal muscles, the big guys that come down the front and strengthen this. Obviously everybody knows you have to have good strong abdominals, but then what I see most people do is they're neglecting the rest of their core. So core should also involve our obliques down the sides and also stuff going on inside under the abs, so rotational movement that's going to come into play, and you want to train all aspects of the core to really get the biggest bang for the buck. Now, if we're talking about a flatter belly, a lot of that has to be talking about nutrition. So I'm not necessarily going to cover that piece today, but if part of the issue is that you're distended, bloated, or have belly fat, that's sort of a different conversation. I hope you all know we can't get a perfect looking core just through exercise alone, but there's more reason to train the core than just to have nice looking abs. One of them is back health, and the other is when you exercise, your core holds your spine in place so that everything goes, the power goes where you want it. So if you are doing a kettlebell swing, for instance, if you have a strong core, when your hips snap, all the power goes right into that bell. So you have more athletic output, meaning you burn more fat. So a core is going to protect the back, make you look better, and help you get better performance and better fat burn. So let's talk about the top 5 moves that I want you to incorporate into your exercise program, and you probably aren't using them right now. They're all going to involve a kettlebell, and one of them, if you can see it, is going to involve a Bosu, which I think is the best piece of equipment besides a kettlebell to add if you're building a little home gym for yourself. So I'm going to do the standing exercise I have first. So first I'm going to do three straight core drills, and then I'm going to do 2 drills that may not seem like core drills, okay? So number 1, I'm going to do a standing one, and we call it a teapot. I'm sure it's got another name for it, but I like calling it a little teapot because it's what you look like when you do this correctly. Now, to do a teapot correctly, you need at least 35 pounds, and I'm talking anybody, unless you're like, I think even my 70-year-old clients use 35 pounds or more. Because if this move isn't heavy, it's just not gonna make it work. Now for people who might be scared of weight, I got a 4-year-old, she still wants to be carried half the time. She's how many pounds?
38.
38 pounds, and she wants to be held for like 20 minutes at a time. And when we go to Disney in 2 weeks, she's gonna wanna be held a ton. So I meet a lot of moms who are like, oh my God, 35 what? Like I lift a 5-pound weight. You're not getting strong abs with a 5-pound weight, and if you carry a baby or a child on your side, chances are you're used to lifting 20 to 30 pounds already. So let's just break up the idea of being scared of weight. So let's do the teapot. The teapot's a great oblique builder. So that's going to give us the nice little cut down the side that a lot of people are looking for, and also help that when we're holding something heavy on the side of us that we're not like caving. So to do a teapot correctly, you're going to put your feet touching. You're going to put your arm up like you're a little teapot, and you're going to focus on these shoulders. It helps to learn into a mirror, but you're going to lower the shoulder and then pull. Lower and pull. Lower and pull. That's the motion, and you want to do at least 8 to 12 reps of this guy. This is a little bit of a higher rep drill. So if you're imagining you're a teapot, you're going to lower that shoulder past parallel and then drag it past parallel this side again. That's the whole motion. What you don't want to do is unnaturally bend the knee or lean forward. That's no good. It's just down to there till it naturally stops, and then pull. If you're at home and you don't have like a 35-pound or heavier bell, and you have dumbbells or something lighter, you can hold 2 kettlebells together and add up to a little more weight. Okay, so one more time. We're going to stand up tall posture. We're going to lower the shoulder and pull. Lower the shoulder and pull. And you want to really imagine you're digging with this side, because this is the side that's actually doing the work. So a couple sets of teapots are going to help the obliques. Let's talk about the next move. Some people call it the Russian twist or the hot potato. This move is great for obliques, but also some of the other ab muscles that you don't ever see, but that need to get trained. I want you to hold a dumbbell or a kettlebell here like you're holding water in your hands. Don't hold it by the handles, hold it by the ball of the weight. You're gonna lean back and then get your feet up off the ground. And now you're gonna turn, 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 okay? That's the motion. If you're new and your abs aren't very strong, you can leave your heels planted on the ground. If you can't see my feet, just trust it. But what I want you to do eventually is pick them up off the ground and find that place. You can do it without a weight first. Where do I balance? You hold the bell over your belly, not up over your chest. And what most people do wrong is they turn. I see this in gyms. They turn and they touch the bell to the floor. What that becomes is it takes a good ab drill, it turns into a crappy arm drill. We don't want to work the arms here. We want to focus on turning the trunk. So imagine you're digging your elbow towards that opposite thigh. That's the motion. So hold the kettlebell like water in your hands, sit back and get your balance, and you're going to turn your shoulders, turn your shoulders. Your legs can do whatever they want. I like the bicycle, like I just showed you. I like the sort of opposite goes to it. Just feels natural to do it that way. And if you have any questions, let me know. I can troubleshoot any of these exercises. This one again is true with a lot of the ab drills, the specific target ab drills. You're gonna wanna do higher reps, like 10 or more. And when I say 10 with a hot potato, you got two sides to you, so it's 1, 1, 2, 2. That's the motion, all right? Teapot was like 35 pounds. With the hot potato, something lighter is more appropriate. You could go with a press weight. So whatever you can press up overhead is probably enough weight for the hot potato. The next drill, the best ab exercise, period. If you want to strict build the ab exercises, I've tried everything out. Other trainers have differing opinions, but to me, the Bosu crunch is the best there is. It can be done on a ball, but it's definitely inherently riskier. And first I'm going to show you without a kettlebell, and then I'll show you how you can hold a kettlebell. It'll make it harder. But all beginners, anybody who wants rock hard ab muscles, this is your move. So on this Bosu, I want to start by tucking in my shirt. No, I want to start by being about halfway up this Bosu. If you're on top and you go to lean backwards, you're going to quickly find out you aren't where you belong. If you're too low, the motion's not going to work, and I'll help you figure that out. So you're going to be about halfway up this thing, and your hands have to stay pinned over your head. Now I say that to people all the time in class, and still they end up here, and I'm like, if that's over your head, I'm a monkey's uncle. So here, up over your head, when you get to through the whole motion, you should never at any point see your hands. It literally takes an awesome ab exercise and makes it easy. So I'm going to show it to you. We're hands overhead, we're going to lower, and we're going to crunch, and we're going to stop there. Hands overhead, and I'm at about a 45-degree angle. I do not do this, and I do not do this. The second I go to there, if you're doing this along with me, you notice your abs literally don't have to fire anymore. If I rock back, now's when I feel them. They have to harden. I'm even trembling just to hold that. That's where I want to get to. So I'm sliding as I'm sitting, but you want to sit on this thing, hands up overhead, you're going to lower, and you're going to crunch, lower, and crunch, and it helps if you'll blow up a balloon too, so lower, and blow out a balloon every time you do it. Now that's the beginner way to do this. If you want more of a challenge, it's quickly more of a challenge, you can take a weighted ball or a kettlebell. Kettlebell's no joke. You will have to cheat a little bit with this, I find. Again, a light weight is fine. I'm gonna hold it so I've got a good grip of the handles, unless you have a good dentist that you wanna keep employed. Hold the handles really well, and you're gonna crunch, lower, and crunch. And that thing is gonna target your ab muscles like crazy. It's gonna be very difficult. I will say with a kettlebell in hand, you have to keep it a little more in front of you, or else you'll feel like you're gonna fall backwards. If this drill's not hard, I don't care how much Pilates or yoga you're doing, you're not doing it right. If this move isn't hard, you're not doing it right. It's got to be hands up overhead, stop at a 45, and I'm high enough on the Bosu that only this part of my back is in contact with it. I'm not feeling it between my shoulder blades when I come up. That should work really well. So I'm gonna stand up now. We're gonna talk about 2 more funky drills that you probably aren't using at all and maybe haven't seen before. Again, the best core drills aren't just targeting the exact core. The best core drills are also going to be ones where you do exercises in motion. And this is why doing machines in a gym is never going to train the core as well as live exercises like kettlebells. In my opinion, nothing beats kettlebell training for hips, core, and shoulders. So I'm going to do a motion that really is a leg motion. It's a lunge, where we're going to go all the way down to a lunge and then stand back up. But we're going to do this as a suitcase lunge, meaning I'm going to hold this thing on one side of me like a suitcase, and I'm going to drop down into a lunge and then return to the stand. Drop down in the lunge and return to a stand. Now the goal here, the goal is not to get the bell to the floor. The goal is to get your lunge position great, and this all stays poised and tall. What I don't want to see is crumple, and I don't want to see tilt. Tilt's no good. That's the teapot. We're not doing a teapot. So you want a heavy bell, probably whatever you swing. And if you haven't done kettlebell swings, then something like certainly 25 pounds or more for any athlete, no matter what age. And I'd like something more like 35 pounds is appropriate. It needs to really challenge the core muscles in motion. So you're going to stand tall, you're going to step, touch, and return. You're going to keep your eyes up so that you don't tilt forward. And you're going to do that. Not only are you getting a great butt and leg exercise, but you're adding the core challenge to it. And I love hitting more muscles in a small amount of time. That's really how you're going to compress your workouts and stop wasting an hour and a half and start doing it in 39 minutes or less. The last drill, definitely a little more advanced. I want you to do this with a very light bell. Really can't do this one with a dumbbell. You could have done some of the other exercises with a dumbbell. This one's kettlebells only, and you'll see why. It's called a figure 8, and I love this because it's going to train the rotational movement of the core in a bunch of range of motion. Okay. To do this one, you're going to start with the bell up. It's in your hand, and it's sitting on this palm. I'm going to swing it through my legs and hand off and then drive. Hand off and drive. Hand off and drive. I will tell you, that motion's complicated. It takes a little work. I would learn it first without a bell. I'd learn it like you're slapping, and you're going to sit and turn and try to slap your palms, and then come back up and slap your palm. So I'm not caving the spine. We're training good core, right? We're training good core. So I'm going to sit and turn the hips and maintain that great posture, that vertical posture. This is where the spine is happy, okay? So I'm going to sit and turn, hand off, and then drive. It's the driving back up that really works the core. People love this exercise because it tends to feel really awesome up here, and strengthen different areas of the core that some of the other exercises won't get to. So again, watching figure 8s live, it's hand off, drive, hand off, drive. Right when you get to the bottom of that motion, whoops, you drive with you tighten everything in your abs, tighten your arm, and you drive with your hips at the same time. It's sort of like if you've ever done kickboxing class, like an uppercut, right? So boom, up to the palm. So that's the 5 moves that you should be adding to your ab exercises that you probably aren't using right now. If you've got any questions on kettlebell core exercises, please feel free to shoot them to me. I'm glad to respond at any point, help you out, troubleshoot anything. And as always, invite you to our Facebook group called Breakthrough 39 with no space in it. That is a private group for health and fitness nuts who want an alternative, holistic approach towards fitness, nutrition, and wellness. I run that group, and we have a great community of people working locally in Maryland and abroad, all over the world, really. So if you have any questions now while we're live or later, please feel free to shoot them to me. Hopefully it made you think a little bit differently about some core drills, okay? So that's it for now, and we will catch you next time.